After using the new Samsung Chromebook for the better part of the workday, I have to say I'm impressed, as long as you consider the constraints of its $249 price tag. Google announced the Samsung Chromebook today along with new ambitions to spread its browser-based, cloud-focused Chrome OS laptop much more widely. Google envisions it as good for an extra machine that lies around the house or as a laptop for students. I find it a reasonable device for those categories, especially for people like myself who already have their head in the Google Cloud with Google. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Docs, Google Drive, and Gmail. It's got workable if not standout hardware, its battery life is good, it switches on quickly, and the $249 price tag means it's not as much of a commitment as the $550 Samsung Series 5 550 that arrived in May. However, given sluggish performance sometimes, I can't say I was blown away by the Samsung Chromebook. It's fine for many tasks, but power users accustomed to having more than a couple dozen browser tabs open should steer clear. The big differences compared to earlier Chromebooks are that it's smaller, with a thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. 11.6-inch screen, lighter, with a weight under 2.5 pounds, and very different under the hood. The Samsung Chromebook uses a low-power processor, Samsung's Exynos 5 Dual that's built on ARM's new Cortex-A15 design. The design is very compact, a bit narrower than Apple's 11-inch MacBook Airs, but deeper and thicker. It's got a chiclet keyboard, a generously large trackpad, and a scalloped groove where you can get your thumb to flip up the screen. One day of use does not prove much, but the battery held out well for me. The screen is okay, thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. With pretty good resolution, adequate brightness, and a matte coating to cut down on glare. It's not terribly vivid, though, and doesn't have a very wide viewing angle. In the same vein, the bottom-mounted speakers are workable but produce a muddy sound, especially when muted by fabrics on your lap. Although the trackpad doesn't match Apple's, I haven't found one that does yet. It beats out many I've used recently, including some on machines much more expensive. Google wisely adopted some Apple conventions with the trackpad, such as a two-finger tap to right-click and a two-finger swipe. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. To scroll or pan, I find clicking requires too much pressure, but fortunately tapping will do the trick, too. Those who want something as slim as what the Ultrabook era promises will be disappointed, in particular by the hinge that protrudes upward along the top when the system's lid is closed down. But it's plenty slim and light for most needs. Frankly, I'm more concerned about lightweight and fast wake-up times, and the Samsung Chromebook is well there. Along the left edge of the laptop are an SD card slot and combination microphone headphone jack. On the thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Back are a USB 2.0 port, a USB 3.0 port, the first for a Chromebook, and an HDMI 1.4 port. The webcam perches above the screen. Inside is 16 GB of flash memory, but people with ordinary amounts of videos, music, photos, and letters will have to rely on Google Drive for some storage. Happily, Google gives Samsung Chromebook customers 100 GB of space for 2 years. The keyboard is adequate if you've gotten used to the chiclet era I have. It's not a keyboard for pounders, though. The laptop's body flexes, and it makes a popping noise when I rest. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. My right wrist on the face, and the keyboard isn't backlit. Chrome OS, of course hardware is only half the story here, though. It's great for a $249 device, and it shows what an ARM-based system can do, but if you're not okay with Chrome OS, you should steer clear. Chrome OS, for the uninitiated, puts a version of Google's Chrome browser on top of a Linux foundation. Where Linux PCs run Linux apps, though, Chrome OS devices run browser apps. That's huge, since you can do more and more on the web. But you run several. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Popular programs: iTunes, Skype, Portal 2, Microsoft Office, Photoshop, Spotify. or the Great Internet Mercenary Prime Search Program, to name a few. In aiming the Chromebook at people who want another device around the house, though, those shortcomings aren't necessarily showstoppers. There are plenty of times when all you need to do is check email, read some news, load a recipe, making a bank payment, click around YouTube, or spend time on Facebook. For that, it's a very economical device. Its fast startup speed is conducive to flipping it open for a few moments and then plopping in "Thank you for trying" verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Down on the counter or coffee table again when you're done. And of course ordinary web pages work as they would on any other machine. For apps, including games, you can visit the Chrome Web Store for freebies and purchases. You can pin apps and websites you like by right-clicking here, two-finger tapping on the tab, at which point it becomes narrow and stays put. If you're wondering whether to get this or a tablet, though, you'll have to assess your priorities. Tablets have a wealth of entertaining apps and better battery life. But when it's time "Thank you for trying" verbose, this recording will go away once the product has been purchased. To type, I find Chromebooks much more agreeable than using my iPad and Kensington Bluetooth keyboard or my Transformer primed with its own keyboards. One other factor that could help tip the balance: the Chromebook has 3G networking capability, though it's not yet certified in the United States, and of course that adds new usage fees. Straining to keep up. My biggest complaint with the Samsung Chromebook is performance. In short, it struggles under load, especially when there are many browser tabs open. One problem: text sometimes arrives sluggishly in a long Google Doc word processing "Thank you for trying" verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Document and paging up and down through even simple, moderately long documents could be excruciating. Another problem: the YouTube video playing the song in the background paused when I tapped away to another task. Another video stuttered while I was scrolling in Google Docs. My current favorite browser torture test, panning across my 9 columns of Twitter feeds in the TweetDeck web app, can be slow. And something I hadn't seen before, initiating a new tweet often takes the Chromebook 5 or 6 seconds before a window appears where I can't type. The Chromebook must reload. "Thank you for trying" verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Older tabs that haven't been used in a while. That's a fair strategy for devoting limited memory to the task at hand, but it happens more often than I like, when revisiting the New York Times or Hipmunk sites after just a half hour away, for example. Closing down tabs to keep it to a half dozen seems to help, though. And I have seen firsthand that Google really does improve the operating system steadily with its 6-week update cycle, so today's problems could ease with future releases of the operating system. Really? No right delete key. "Thank you for trying" verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. I'd like to share a couple comments here on Chromebooks in general, which I generally use more than 10 hours a week for work and personal tasks. Perhaps I'm a relic from a bygone age, but I really miss the right delete button, so common on Windows keyboards but missing from Chromebooks and MacBooks. I certainly type text more than the average person, so I feel this pain more acutely, but even with emails and Facebook posts it's very handy not to have to position your cursor exactly right to delete text. I also wish there were "Thank you for trying" verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Way to set the keyboard repeat rate and the delay too long for my tastes before a key held down will start repeating. And for a company as global as Google, it's a shame there's no way to get accented characters through a long press the way I love on OS X or the SwiftCopy Android keyboard. Keyboard fans also should learn that page down and page up keys can be simulated with the Alt down arrow and Alt up arrow combinations, and that moving the cursor to the beginning or end of a line of text by using the Control Alt up arrow and Control Alt down arrow combinations. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. There's no caps lock button, and you probably won't miss it. In its place is a search key. This is a Google device, after all. Pressing it will pop up the grid of icons in the apps launcher. You can arrow around the grid to launch an app, or if you start typing it behaves like Chrome's box, which is to say it will open a web page or launch a Google search. You can change the default search engine if you prefer Bing or other alternatives. confusingly for people who are used to Windows 7 and Windows. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. 8-door OS X's Spotlight function. Google Drive documents don't show on the search results list. Perhaps that'll arrive in a future update, though. Google has just begun a field trial in which Google Drive documents appear in Google search results. Overall, though, it's a solid device for the price when used for occasional web tasks, especially for the Google-centric people.